Oh, maybe it's
Hey
not.
there, people. It is IcedHazelnut and
Grape of the Adler.
Grape of the Adler.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
We're here today to talk to you about covers, song covers. When we did our music podcast, what, 2 or 3 ago?
CC.
That made me think of that. I'm like, oh, there's so many good cover songs out there.
Yeah.
You know? So I have a list of my favorite. And
oh, go ahead.
and what I did was I compiled them all.
Uh-huh.
And I put them in one huge playlist.
Oh,
so there's a Spotify playlist, and I'll try to figure out how to add a link or directions on how to get there.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to, there's like very few, maybe 2, where I couldn't find
the link for it.
Right, and I'll tell you which ones they are.
Before you do that, I'll let you go, and then I can, because we probably have some overlaying ones, and if we're not, I'll talk about mine.
Yeah.
But let's, I could have sworn that the first cut, The Deepest, by Cat Stevens was the most covered. But according to this, it's not.
It's not?
This Mental Floss one, and I can't find it as one. I mean, it probably is. There is definitely a bunch of covers of that song.
Yeah.
But, so, there's 20...
The most covered songs.
The most covered songs. Okay. So, really quickly...
Okay. You know what I would guess?
Huh.
Amazing Grace, one. Cause
that is number 22.
Oh,
this
22.
is 25.
Wow.
The list of 25. I'm not going to read the whole list.
Okay.
But,
do the top 10.
Okay, I'm going to do the top 10.
Okay. Unless you had more.
Well, honorable mention is Over the Rainbow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I could see that.
Imagine by
Israel Coming
That came in at 18.
Like.
25 is Silent Night, because obviously Christmas songs.
Yeah.
House of the Rising Sun, 14 by the Animals.
Okay.
And then, so...
For some reason, I always thought that was a Doors. I don't know why.
It kind of does sound kind of Doorsy.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same. Isn't it like in the 60s or something?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got an ad. Hold on. You son of a monkey's uncle.
Can I say something while you're holding that thought?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say also that, oh my God, kids today, they have no idea. Music is always new to someone that has never heard it before.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of kids, it's like, well, who's Michael Jackson? What the...
Someone said who's Prince to our sister-in-law, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she used to be a teacher.
When he passed.
I'm like, what? Like, oh my God. And it's such good music. It's like...
Yeah, so...
We need, like, another... I don't know, some kind of... station. Yeah, or whatever that... unless you want to listen to some of my playlists. Anyways, yeah.
So, I'll just really go... Number 10, And I Love Her, The Beatles.
Oh, okay.
Number 9, Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Number 8, Ain't No Sunshine, Bill Withers. Which, I don't think I've ever heard anybody else do a Bill Withers. Well, Ain't No Sunshine. I probably
think I have. I just can't remember.
But I always listen to his version, so... Bridge Over Troubled Water, Simon and Garfunkel. My Way, Frank Sinatra's number 6. Oh, sorry, that other one was 7. So number 6, Frank Sinatra, My Way. 5, Eleanor Rigby, The Beatles. 4, Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, which I don't think I've ever heard anybody do cover that. 3 is Love Me Tender, Elvis Presley. Number 2 is Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Which I was like, his? And then number 1 actually does make sense. I think actually maybe this is the one, and then the first cut is the second. Yesterday by the Beatles.
Oh, okay.
Which, I was like, that makes sense.
Okay. Wow.
So, and I
never would have guessed that.
I've heard quite a bit of different covers of the Yesterday, yeah. So, that I can understand. All right.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to do like 5 at a time?
How many do you have?
I have a page and a half.
Jesus Christ. I do, but I have other things on the thing. Yeah, let's just do 5. Let's see what you do.
Oh, do my first 5?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so my first one is Grant Lee Buffalo covered We've Only Just Begun by the Carpenters. This was on a If I Were a Carpenter tribute record for the Carpenters. Also on that one was, I didn't know this, Cranberries, Close to You.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh. So I listened to that too. I was like, oh, I like that. so Grant Lee Buffalo, that was a good one. I like their version. And this is ones that I do like. I might even like the remake better on some of these.
Yeah, sometimes you like the remake. Yeah. Well, it's not even the remake. It's just what you know.
Right.
Who's Grantley Miller?
Grantley Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo, sorry.
Grantley Buffalo. It's just it's one, I know I think it's a two-person thing, two-person entity, but the lead singer has a great voice.
Are they jazz, soul?
No, they're like folky.
Folky, thank you. That's
indie.
Oh, okay, indie.
Yeah,
all right.
The Dynamic Seven Nation Army.
Okay.
Oh, first of all, I also wrote dates on these, except for the Carpenters one. 94. Grantley Buffalo covered that in 94. That was 94 when that If I Were a Carpenter record came out. Now, the Dynamics covered Seven Nation Army, which I love. I love that version. That came out in 2007. That was originally by the White Stripes, of course. Yes. 2003.
Wow.
So what's that? That's 2. My third one is I can't even say your name. Emiliana Torini did White Rabbit, covered White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane. That was originally done in 1967 by Jefferson Airplane. And that version was done for a original soundtrack of Sucker Punch in 2011. Yeah.
Is she just like a singer?
Just a singer. Okay. Regular singer.
Like a regular singer. Okay.
Yeah. She's got a great voice though.
Oh, okay.
I love Fiona Apple for Across the Universe, which was done for the Pleasantville soundtrack.
Okay, she did do a version. Okay.
98, and that's the Beatles. Of course, 69 was their original. I got one more, then that's 5. Along that lines, I thought it was for Across the Universe for Fiona Apple for the movie. They might have used it for that movie too, but that was later on. In 2007, Across the Universe, the movie, original soundtrack, Helter Skelter was done by a singer called Dana Fuchs, Fuchs.
Her?
Her, okay. Yeah, she did a really good cover of Helter Skelter. And also U2 covered it in 88. They made a
that I knew. Okay, yeah, I've heard that one, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I first heard the song. I didn't know they were Beatles because I wasn't a huge Beatles fan till later in life. And Helter Skelter was first done by the Beatles in 68.
69.
Stop. Go on.
Okay, just to piggyback off this.
Okay.
Really quickly. Let's see. Hold on. What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, that goes into it. So I'll start with the Beatles stuff because I have a couple Beatles songs.
Okay.
Actually, I have a couple other covers too. Okay. But Across the Universe, Rufus Wainwright writes. That was 2002.
Oh, wow.
For the I Am Sam soundtrack. That's all Beatles covers. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that, yeah.
And then there's a couple of
that movie was because the kid was he autistic?
I think he was, yes.
And he just loved the Beatles music that brought him out over whatever his...
So, and that was the first time they were able to do that. And then they did Across the Universe. So,
okay.
Don't Let Me Down by Stereophonics. That's a really good cover from the same soundtrack, 2002.
Okay.
We got Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings, 1973. Foo Fighters, 2007.
Yes, I have that.
You have that too, yeah.
Okay.
And where did you find that?
What?
Where you can find that?
Oh,
because I was looking.
That's the one you can't find on Spotify.
Yes, that's one of the ones.
But it is on it's Radio 1. Radio 1 established 1967. Covers for the BBC.
I would say that's BBC, right?
Yeah, so if you find that CD or record, that's where you can find that on. Or on Foo Fighters Medium Rare from 2011. So it's called Medium Rare. It's a limited edition for Record Store Day. The Foo Fighters. So that's why it's rare.
Right.
So, but yeah, oh my gosh, I love that Foo Fighters version. I think better than the original.
I like both.
It's great.
But
I love both
because
I love,
how
much I love Wings. And,
yeah.
And the Wings version was 73 was the original when that came out.
Yes, I have that on here. So it was released in 73. Yeah. So I got 2 more here for my out of my 5, and they're the same group. Okay. Sixpence None the Richer did Don't Dream It's Over, which was Crowded House, 1986. Okay. They did theirs in 2003. I forgot to put the album. And then There She Goes from it was 99.
The LA's?
The LA's is from 88.
Yeah. Oh, so wow. Okay.
Those are two of my favorites. By Six, which I didn't know they were a Christian rock band. They're
Sixpence was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
They're
know
like
that.
Christian rock, but they're also alternative pop. And then Lee Nash,
Wow.
the lead singer, went solo. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
as far as I know, they're not together anymore, but I could be wrong. From what I could tell, they weren't together anymore, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they got back together at one point.
So me do 5 more?
If you want, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so my next one that I really like is Linda Ronstadt, The Waiting by Tom Petty.
I was say, is that Tom Petty?
Yeah, Tom Petty originally did it in 81.
Jesus.
And her version was 95. She did hers in 1995.
That song does not seem like it's that old.
No, it does not.
And she did it in 95, sorry.
95.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to listen to that
My
one.
next one that I've always loved so much, and I didn't know, I thought this was their song, and then it's by Velvet Underground from 1970, Sweet Jane, the Cowboy Junkies. And
I would have to hear it.
They did their version in 88. Well, if you go on my playlist, I'll send you the link. You can, and I have them right next to each other, so everything's right next to each other. So you hear the remake first, and then right underneath it is the original.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Cowboy Junkies, Sweet Jane. Dwight Yoakam, Train in Vain, 1997.
Mm-hmm.
The Clash did it in 70. Is that okay? Train in Vain, Dwight's version is 97. The Clash did it in 79. Isn't that weird?
Oh my
97,
gosh.
79. Also,
I knew that was a cover.
Yeah.
You didn't know that was a cover?
No, I knew that was a cover.
I thought you didn't know that was a cover for some reason. Okay,
also, it was I told her the other there's a I thought it said June Carter Cash. I'm like, June Carter Cash?
Mm-hmm.
It's a there's a country punk band called June Carter Clash, and the Tex Pistols also covered it, and it's a decent one. I included that too in the playlist.
Wow.
So it's really good. I really liked it. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. So it's amazing because when I searched in Spotify, and it gives you sometimes other artists too that have covered it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So and I'm like, who? And I'm like, June Carter Cash. Oh, June Carter Clash. And then I looked them up. So yeah, they're like a country punk band.
Well, I didn't put it in my list, but I mean, Johnny Cash did "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah,
so that's a really good song. That's a really good version.
That's true.
Didn't make my list, but I do like that song.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
My fourth one is Lucinda Williams, Jambalaya. And I always thought it was like an old. I knew it was from New Orleans, and I thought it was like old. So I might not know who did it, but actually, that's a Hank Williams tune from 1952.
Really?
Yes. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, you know. And I really love her version. So get this. So, okay, she did it in 79, right? And Williams, like I said, Hank Williams did it in 1952. He wrote it. And it was about Louisiana culture and lifestyle, right? Someone posed a question. Then I saw someone pose a question about Lucinda Williams, because she's Lucinda Williams, he's Hank Williams. Were they related? They were not related. In fact, he died two weeks
before she was born?
No. He died 2 weeks. He died, and then 2 weeks later she was born. She was born.
That's what I mean. And then she was born too.
And
oh wow.
There's another weird thing about them that they both suffered from a form of spina bifida.
Weird.
Very weird, right? So like reincarnation?
Right.
I don't know. She's a great singer. I don't know if you know any of her body of music.
Yeah, I know some.
Yeah, she's really good. I like her. I've always liked her. The next thing is my fifth one is Matthew Sweet and Susanna Hoffs covered "Hello, It's Me" by Todd Rundgren. Their version.
Oh, I've heard that song.
They did it in 2009, and he was 1972 when he first did his. So I've always liked that song by him.
Speaking of weird things, remember I was talking about The First Cut Is the Deepest?
Yeah.
Cat Stevens. And I was
who's
like,
Yusuf something now, right? Really, he's been.
Yeah, he converted to Islam.
Yeah,
but he still does music.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, well, Sheryl Crow. And I'm like, well, there's other people who've done it too. It's like it's one of the most covered songs too. I just didn't make that list apparently.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I heard that one time.
Yeah.
And then so Sheryl Crow, it's a good version.
Yeah.
Why did we walk into Jewel and that's what's playing on the radio or started playing? I'm like, oh my gosh.
That was weird.
It was very weird. Oh, well, I'll go with my other.
Go on.
So, Killing Me Softly with his song.
Yes.
Roberta Flack, 1973. Covered by the Fugees in 1996.
Well,
Always like to hear that one. I was figuring you probably do, but that's one of my favorite. Besides there.
Maybe not. I thought I had it. Go on, keep going.
We got
here it is.
The Man Who Sold the World, 1970, David Bowie.
Okay.
Nirvana did The Unplugged, 1993. Always like that version. Well, I knew their version before I knew David Bowie's, before I got into Bowie, so. Of course, Respect. We got Otis Redding, 1965. Aretha Franklin, 1967.
Oh, I didn't even know it was a cover.
Oh, you didn't know that was a cover?
I thought
that was Otis. I think she changed a little bit of the lyrics, obviously, to be more for the women, but obviously, yeah, Otis Redding did that first 2 years before. And there's a lot of that, and I don't know if you noticed, even now, when there's covers, there might be 2-3 years between them.
Oh, yeah,
and you're like, wait.
That's true.
And then, that was at 4? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got one more. So then I got Proud Mary, Ike and Tina Turner, 1971. Original is Creedence Clearwater Revival.
I forgot about that. And
1969.
I love both versions.
Yeah, I do like
both
about that.
Yeah. See, there's so many. And then I know there's going to be, after we talk about these
and they're
are
very
our favorites.
different. So.
Yeah, these are our favorites. Yeah. And I'll pose the question, too, because you could pose questions at the end of this. Like, what's your favorite cover? But go on.
That was my fifth one.
Go. Oh, that was your fifth one?
Yeah, that was my fifth one.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. So, my next one is Stevie Nicks, Free Fallin'. And
she also did a good
for a Party of Five.
Yeah. Party of Five.
Oh, it says
the soundtrack.
Yeah, yeah. Tom Petty 89, and she did that in 96 for the Party of Five original soundtrack.
Maybe say another good cover she ever did.
What
was Crash by Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, really? I don't think I ever heard that.
I don't know if she ever did it on an album, but I think she used to do it live.
Oh, wow.
She really liked that song.
I love Stevie Nicks. I've always loved Fleetwood Mac again.
So, anyway.
My first record ever bought, Rumors. Sinead O'Connor. I spelled her name wrong. What the heck?
How dare you?
All Apologies. She did that. Have you ever heard that?
By Nirvana?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that song.
1994. She covered All Apologies. Nirvana did theirs in 93. So there you go.
Yeah.
Part. And then also I have with her is she covered Nothing. That was a big hit for her. Nothing Compares to You. That was a Prince song. He did it as a live. He did it live at Paisley Park in '99. I don't know if it was ever available on a.
It is
CD?
now.
Is it?
It is
okay.
now. It's available because I have it on my playlist. Because I have both the versions. But from what I read, he originally wrote it because you know he had so many songs.
Oh yeah.
And then he put it out because he just didn't feel it fit any of the albums at the time in the 80s. And so then she picked it up. So
and she did an excellent.
Yeah, I like it is a cover, but it's not. Yeah, but it is. So, but no, she did excellent. So did he. Yeah. So he does a good version too. Anyway, go
on. Brandy Carlisle, Creep from 2008.
Boston, Live in Boston, I think is the album because that's where I heard it. Was Brandy Carlisle because I like that. Yeah, I like that cover too.
Could be. Yeah, that I don't have that, but. Radiohead, 93. They did it in 93. I love that song, first of all. And she did a great job. Cheap Trick, Don't Be Cruel. 1988. Of course, that was an Elvis tune from 1956. You've heard it? Cheap Trick's version?
I think I have heard it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And UB40, of course, they came on the scene. This made them famous to begin with. Red Red Wine in 1983. And that was a Neil Diamond hit in 67, which I'm not a fan of Neil Diamond, but...
Right. And they pretty much do all covers.
Most of the time...
I think we discussed that before.
Yeah, they've done some of their own, too, which is great. Rat in the Kitchen is one of theirs. It's all their music, that record. So, album, whatever. So that was 5 for me.
So then I have I Will Always Love You, Dolly Parton was the original, 1974. You guys may know Whitney Houston did in 92 for the Bodyguard soundtrack.
Right.
And then I guess I also read that Dolly Parton re-recorded it and it released in 83 or 84.
Oh, wow.
So, and then I got me and Bobby McGee, Chris Christopherson was the original. Oh. He was the writer. Okay. He wrote it from a man who's a country guy named Roger Miller.
Okay, I've heard of Roger
69.
Miller. Yeah.
And then Janis Joplin covered it, and it came out in 71. But she died
I didn't know that was
it came
a cover.
out.
Okay.
So,
yes. Wow. Oh, she did.
She did. Yeah, it came out after she died.
So she didn't know what a hit it was.
Correct. Wow. So because she went through voice lessons.
Oh wow.
You ever watch? I think you did. Little Girl Blue Girl Lost or whatever. Her documentary on PBS. It was on PBS. If you have what is that? Compass.
Yeah.
You could probably find it on there. It used to be on Netflix for a long time. It's a really good documentary about her life. Venus by Bananarama, 1986. The original was Shocking Blue from 1969. I didn't realize that song was that old.
Oh, wow.
I knew it was old. I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah. That I knew was a cover, yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay. I got 3 more after this, so I'll just go through them. Okay. So, and then I'm done with my list.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, 1981. The Arrows did it in 1975.
Oh, wow.
So... let's see. I Got My Mind Set on You, George Harrison, 1987. That's a cover by a man named James Ray in 1962.
Oh, wow.
So, and I guess...
I thought that was his.
That's what I thought, too. I guess he had seen them when he came to America. I think he's jazz? Blues?
Is he? Who is it?
James Ray.
Never heard of him.
I want to say jazz for some reason.
Okay.
But it might be blues. It might be both, actually. Fusing them both. But yeah, he heard it and then he always liked it, so he covered it later on in his life.
Nice.
And then, of course, Walk This Way by Aerosmith, 1975. Famously covered and re-recorded with them, 1986.
The Run DMC.
Run DMC.
You didn't say Run.
I didn't
like
say
who?
that.
Like I knew who it was.
Run DMC, bitches.
Okay, here I go. I'll continue with my list. Sonic Youth did Superstar for that tribute record for the Carpenters in 94.
Oh, I think I've heard that.
That one's a really good one, too. So, and then they recorded it in 71, the original. I got the Lemonheads with Mrs. Robinson. When you said Simon and Garfunkel, I was like, I have one Simon and Garfunkel, but that was 68.
Yeah, I've heard that one,
and that was a big hit for the Lemonheads. 1992 is when they recorded that. Everclear Brown Eyed Girl. That one's a good one. I really like that version.
I might have heard it.
Van Morrison did it. Was the originator of that in 1967.
Wow.
Roseanne Cash. I didn't know it was her dad's tune. Tennessee Flat Top Box.
I would have to hear it.
It's a really good song. I really like it. 1987, and Johnny Cash did it in 1971. So, and let's see. Marcia Griffiths covered Band of Gold. Do you remember that song? That's a 70s tune by Frida Payne. Actually, 1970, she came out with that.
Wow. I think of some of these, again, I've said this before.
Yeah.
I know the tune.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you might have heard Frida's version.
I might have, yeah.
And then Marcia did it in 74, so that was only 4 years apart. And Marcia was also one of the I3's, Bob Marley's backup band.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, I know the song. I'll probably know the tune. I probably won't know the title or the artist.
Right.
So.
Etta James, Holding Back the Years.
Really?
That is an excellent version. 2006 she did that in.
Wow.
Of course, that was Simple Minds. But, here's the thing. Mick Hucknall, the lead singer of Simple Minds, he wrote it.
Simple Minds or Simply Red?
No, Simple Minds. No, sorry.
It's Simply Red.
Simply Red. Oh, my God.
Wait, what?
Simply Red, you're right. Simply Red. So he wrote it in 80... He wrote it in the early 80s, and this band that he was with or was friends with, one of the two, Frantic Elevators, recorded it in 82. So, but then they ended up doing their version, Simply Red.
Right.
And then Etta James did a cover, yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That was interesting. I was like, what? Also, do you know who he used to be married to?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones. The Sundays, Wild Horses. Didn't know that was a cover. Rolling Stones, 1971, and the Sundays did their version in 1992.
That's another one that I hear a lot of. I think
Wild
Alicia
Horses.
Keys did a version.
A cover?
Yeah. I know Alicia Keys did a version of that, and I want to say either the Maroon 5 or Adam Levine, but I'm not saying I like them. I'm just saying I've heard the cover.
Right,
so.
right.
Anyway, go on.
Let's see, what else? Iggy Pop, China Girl.
Really?
Yes, but hold on.
Okay.
David Bowie. Okay, so David Bowie and Iggy Pop wrote the song.
Oh.
So.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm like trying to read my writing here. Pop was the first to release it in 77, Bowie in 83.
Wow.
So yeah.
Why did I think he released that later?
I don't know.
I thought it was later in the 80s, but okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I found that interesting.
That's very interesting. I didn't know Iggy Pop was part of that. So.
Yeah. Susie and the Banshees.
Okay.
From 1983, Dear Prudence. That's
really?
A Beatles tune.
Course,
You've never heard that?
I've never heard that.
Oh, that's really good. That is a really good version. And the Beatles did it in 1968. And Foo Fighters, again, we talked about that earlier because you had it covered too.
Yes.
Let's see what else. Okay, here's another one that's really good.
Uh-oh.
And if you like guitar, you will like this. Rodrigo y Gabriela.
Know who they are? Yes.
Stairway to Heaven.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. That is so good. It is so good. They did it in 2006. Of course, it's a Led Zeppelin original from 1971. Okay, this one took me down a rabbit hole.
Oh, God.
Wyclef Jean did a version of Guantanamera.
Oh, really?
You know this tune. So he did his in 2009. I knew it was an old song. I knew.
Yeah.
It's from Cuba,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Joseito Fernandez Diaz, he first did it, and I get different dates on that. 1929 in the radio, it said he recorded it. It was based on a poem by Jose Marti from 1891, a book of poems.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And that's been covered by Celia Cruz, too.
Oh, yeah, that's been covered a lot,
yeah,
too.
Celia Cruz did a version, too, so another favorite. And I guess Pete Seeger popularized it in for American audiences. And he was, folky singer. It's a folk song, like a Cuban.
Right.
And it's about this Guantanamera is Guantanamo, and Guantanamera is referring to a country girl, I guess.
Okay.
It said so, yeah. Okay. And his liked her and was trying to, I guess, impress her and all this, and so that's why he wrote that song. That man. Yeah.
They used to play that when I used to work at Starbucks.
Guantanamera?
They would go through the playlist.
The Wyclef Jean one? No.
Just one of the versions. I don't know.
Just
did that because someone would sing 1 ton tomato. I'm like, that's not it. I was like, that's not what they're saying. Where would you get a 1 ton tomato? And what would you use it for?
What would you use it for? Wow. Wow.